How you might be unconsciously ruining your relationships. Here's a typical scenario: you meet a new guy and go out on a few dates with him. Everything seems to be great for the first few weeks, until he suddenly starts acting strange. He becomes more needy, as though he keeps asking for favors from you, but gives very little in return. At first, you're fine with it, but it escalates to such a level that even you feel that you have to put a stop to it. So you go ahead and tell him about it. What happens next? He then dismisses your worries, maybe even going so far as to telling you that you're the one who's being crazy in the relationship. Needless to say, the relationship soon heads towards a breakup. Take relationships are just an example of the common relationships that so many great women go through over and over again, no matter how different their men are from the last one. And it's funny how so many similar relationships that happen one after the other makes women think that all men are the same. Can't say that we don't blame them, but that idea doesn't fix things. Coming up with such hasty conclusions is like blowing your nose to cure a cold. You're only treating the tip of the iceberg. You need to address the underlying cause that keeps these relationships forming around you. And the underlying cause is easy to find. It's you. Or more specifically, it's the negative patterns that you exhibit in your relationships. Think about it. What are the negative patterns that you bring into relationships? We're not talking about patterns like, I always attract men who don't know how to move relationships forward. That's about him. We're talking about you, and your negative patterns like, I meet men and I immediately warm up to them. I show them that I'm very interested in getting into a relationship and may even get intimate after only a few dates. Go ahead and think of other negative patterns you may have. Think of at least 2 more. Go ahead and take a few minutes to do so. If you manage to find a few negative patterns that you exhibit in all your relationships, then congratulations. You've taken the very first step in breaking free from these patterns. It doesn't even matter what these patterns are. The fact that you were able to zoom into these patterns and identify them is what's important. But wait, I'm not saying that you need to immediately get rid of these patterns. You see, while they may be causing most of the heartache that you've been experiencing so far, it may also be causing most of the good times. If you've ever been into one of those relationships where you totally hate everything he does one day, then do a 180-degree turn a few days later and start loving him again? That's what these patterns are notorious for. Once you identify your patterns and realize whether they're good for your relationship, you'll be better able to keep from unconsciously ruining your relationships.